how we catching them pills. We come from a whole nother cloth that can't be stretched, it can't be bought. Foundation at P1000, but goal is set on just trimming 500. And all of the bosses, they set the example for us to keep thumbing. Through all of that money, investing it all, this life really something. And face everything and rise, I ain't running from nothing. We run up to 100K, we stack the blue faces and something to say. It's grind and go get it no other way. When we run up to 100K, I am. Focus on no, we don't relate. I split with the team, need a bigger play. And this is a marathon, not a race. And we run up to 100K, I stack the blue faces and start to say. It's grind and go get it no other way. When we run up to 100K, I am. Focus on no, we don't relate. I split with the team, need a bigger play. And this is a marathon, not a race. You got it, you can do it. It's your year. Declare it.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I always count it an honor to even be before you. I am so happy and grateful now that God continues to use me to pour into those that will listen, and that I am trusted by the leaders on this platform to go ahead and give me the opportunity to just share my voice, share my knowledge, share my wisdom, and encourage you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the I'm so happy and grateful nows. So I am so happy and grateful now that I will be P1000 by September 30th, 2020, and for my continuous effort to work on my business and never quit. Thank you, Honor. I'm happy and grateful for another day. Thank you, God, for the opportunity to change my life and the lives of others. I'm just so happy and grateful. I'm so happy and grateful for this platform. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm walking in divine purpose, gratitude, and now that I'm Chairwoman 10 by December 1st, 2020. Speak that. She said now that I'm Chairwoman 10. I'm so happy and grateful that God has given me another 24 hours to elevate and learn. Happy and grateful for my family and friends and this amazing retired and 365 family. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am Chairwoman 25 by 31 December 2020 for vibrating at a higher level and for my retired and 365 family. I'm so happy and grateful to be alive, willing, and able, and amongst such positive, beautiful souls. I'm so happy and grateful I am healthy and wealthy. I'm so happy and grateful that my sister had a safe delivery and my niece is healthy and beautiful. Congratulations, Nora. Everybody put congratulations, Auntie, in the chat. Nora's sister had her baby safely. We thank God for that. I'm so happy and grateful now for my retired and 365 family. So happy and grateful now for this high vibration of gratitude. And I'm so happy and grateful now for this opportunity to help and serve the people. I'm so happy and grateful for all the educators we have access to, for my family's health, and for another day of life. I'm so happy and grateful for my mom having a successful surgery and for seeing another day. Yes, Tony Yatsa. God is good. I'm so happy that the surgery was successful as well. I'm so happy and grateful for my family. I'm so happy and grateful for all the challenges in my life that I will overcome. I'm so happy for good health and this opportunity. That just brings my heart joy, because being so grateful for everything that's going on in your life now is going to get you to the next level. The attitude of gratitude, I say this all the time, is the seed to your elevation. So continue to be so happy and grateful now. Don't let this be the only time that you speak it. Wake up doing it. Wake up writing it. Wake up thinking it. Go to sleep believing it. We want to make sure that you remain in that grateful space, because honestly, how could you possibly have more if you are not grateful for what you currently have? It's not going to happen. You have to steward well what you currently have in order to have greater. But that's not even what I'm here to talk about. So today I want to talk about, thanks, Erica. Girl, I'm trying to learn from you. I try not to look like Quarantina all the time. I'm trying to get back into myself. But anyways, so today I want to talk about the uncomfortable advantage. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because success is not comfortable. Although success is not comfortable, you have the advantage in your uncomfortable season for growth. When people remain comfortable, there's no growth. So I would say that you definitely have the advantage remain uncomfortable. Everything that you desire and that God desires for you is right outside of your comfort zone. So that lets you know that in order to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to step out of that box. You have to step out of what you're used to. You have to step out of who you are used to being. You have to step out of speaking the things that you're used to and speaking the things that are going to elevate you. You have to step outside of your current situation and look at it like a bird's eye view, where you don't just see one position, but you see farther than where you currently are. So your desires and what God has for you is outside of your comfort zone. If it's not outside of your comfort zone, then it is within your reach. Now, the danger of it being placed in your reach without a process in the middle of it is you will not be equipped to sustain it. So I'm going to say that again. If it's not outside of your comfort zone, then it's within your reach. Easy enough, right? But the danger in that is if you could easily just reach out and grab it, you will not be equipped to sustain it. You would not have gone through the process. You would have not been strengthened. You wouldn't have gained the tools that you need in order to keep that momentum going, in order to keep that wealth, in order to keep those people in your organization, in order to keep any of the success that you have, because you won't even know what it took to get it. A lot of times we want things to come easy, but the reality of it is when you obtain your success, it's not easy to sustain it. So why would you want the process to be easy and then fall short of being equipped to continue to keep that momentum going? So you have to be okay with the process, and you have to be okay with it being just close enough where you can see it but not yet reach it, so you know the step 1, the step 2, the step 3, because in the event something happens and you have to start back over at square one, you will now know what it takes to get right back to that position. Now that's another thing. When you don't know the steps that it takes, if it's easily just handed to you, if something happens, God forbid, because in life things happen where you may have to start over, you will not even know how to get there. It's like if you were just dropped out of an airplane into the middle of the jungle. You didn't know what it took to get there. You didn't know. And say if you leave something behind, you leave that place and you have to go back and get it because it's valuable. How are you going to get back there? The plane is not an option. Now you have to do the work to get there. So now you're not only starting over, but you're really starting over because you don't know how to get that success again. When things just work out, we rest. That's another thing. That's another reason why having the uncomfortable advantage is important. And it's a beautiful thing. Because if it was easily handed to you, then you would be at rest. You might find yourself lazy. You might not have the drive in you. You may not be hungry for it, knowing that you just already have it. That's when you start to get comfortable. So one of the things that I want to talk about, that I always talk about, is pay attention to the things that you see. You have to be very careful of what you see for your future. You have to make sure that the vision that you have for your future is one of fruit and is one of abundance, is one of breaking whatever generational curse that you're trying to break. So you have to be careful what you see, and you have to focus on that. When you see something, that is an indicator of what's on the inside of you. You just haven't grown into the person to manifest it yet. So that's another reason why it's important to be careful of what you see and to focus on the right things. Make sure that the vision that is for your life is the thing that is focused on, not the vision that somebody spoke over you. Not the vision that people just want you to do to be comfortable. Not the vision that people talk talk you into because your friends are doing this or your family's always done that or you see people on social media doing this. That's not your vision. Everybody has a purpose for their life. So just know whatever vision you have, like even being in this opportunity, whatever rank it is that you want to be, focus on that. Whatever dollar amount you want to generate through trading, focus on that. Whatever connections you want to have in this global network, focus on that. Because that is a key indicator that if that vision was given to you, then that means that's what's on the inside of you. So now you can focus on growing into that person that can manifest it. Just because you see it, that doesn't mean it's yours immediately, but take courage in knowing that the fact that God even allows you the ability to see it, he puts it in your vision, he puts it in your forefront, that now you can start working on what it takes for it to come to pass. It goes back to what I said in the beginning, that if it was easy for you to get, you wouldn't know how to obtain it. But again, this goes hand in hand because you have what's inside of you to manifest it. It just hasn't come to pass yet, but it's coming. You have to make sure that you are aggressive. I know that people do not want to be aggressive. People want to be nice. People want to sugarcoat things. And I was once that person, and I'm growing out of it. But you have to be aggressive. Why? Because if you aren't aggressive, people are going to be aggressive against you and trying to stop you to get where you need to go. So what are you going to do? How are you going to come up against that? How are you going to combat that? That's like in a football game when they throw you the ball and you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to score a touchdown. They're aggressive trying to stop you, right? So you have to put it in gear. You have to run the play. You have to get there, make sure that you're not tackled. Even if they try and come at you, you have to try and blow past them. You have to be aggressive because everything else in life is coming at you aggressively as well. So if you're somebody that's calm, cool, and collected and, oh, well, that doesn't work when you're trying to get to your dreams. I'm not saying that you shouldn't remain positive. I'm not saying that you shouldn't still speak positivity into other people. I'm not saying that you have to be mean. But what I'm saying is you have to give it all that you got. If you are on this call and you're allowing people to stop you every single time you get the ball thrown at you and you're not going into it, shoulders down, head up, and blowing past it, you need to start doing that or else you're going to be taken out every single time. You're never going to get to that end zone. You're never going to get to that finish line. Because how aggressive you are is going to determine how much you want this. How much do you want it? How much do you want it? Do you want it more than the people coming against you trying to stop you? That is the only way that you're going to get to that finish line. That is the only way that you're going to score that touchdown. That is the only way that you're going to obtain it. So you have to get aggressive today and make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to get there. Just because you may be short on the development side, because anytime we start something new, you may not know everything, and that's fine. Just because you may be short on the development side, that doesn't mean that you're going to come up short if you trust the manifestation of the process. So what does that mean? You may not know everything, but just know, again, that it's inside of you and it is going to be manifested. So you're not going to come up short. The way that you overcome being short on the development side is making sure that you're training properly. Making sure that you're in the gym. What is that gym? You're on the platform. You're on these calls. You are on the other calls that people give us, that you're constantly reading and you're studying and you're listening to the audios of the month and you're listening to the audios of the year and you're reading the books that they put to train us and strengthen us. That is the only way that you're not going to be short on development. But again, just because you started out that way doesn't mean that you're going to come up leadership skills, in order for you to strengthen those trading skills. It's all laid out for us. You just have to follow the process so you can strengthen those muscles and you can get to where it is that you need to go. We see how it happens for others and think it's supposed to happen that way for us. We get intimidated or we get discouraged because we see how God's moving in other people's lives and how he's doing it for other people. And we think that that is supposed to be exactly how it's supposed to be done for us. So we allow what we see in other people, instead of focusing on the vision that he gave us, discourage us and knock us out of turn, knock us out of position. You can't focus on what God is blessing me with. You can't focus on the way that God is blessing Charles and his business. You can't focus on the process that Javon may have to go through. You can't focus on any of that because your process may be different. So if you're allowing what you see other people go through get you discouraged, imagine how you're going to feel. So you have to make sure that you know the vision that he has for you. You have to make sure that you know what this is supposed to look like on the other side. Because when you do that, you pay attention to only your process. And when you pay attention to your process, then that is when you start getting the results for your process. When you focus on other people's processes, that is for them. When you focus on their journey, that is for them. You're not getting any results for their journey. You can learn from them, but the only way that you're going to get results is when you go through your process. When you understand what it's going to take for you to get there. Yes, there's a play that we have to follow. Yes, there's a rule book. Yes, there's a blueprint. There are instructions. But you can't sit here and think that you're going to reap off of seeds that you haven't sown and you're just watching. It's not going to happen. So another thing, if you're wondering why you're not growing, what are you focused on? Are you focused on other people? Or are you focused on your vision? Are you focused on the seeds that you're sowing? You're not going to harvest what other people have sown. It's not going to happen. It's not for you. What God has for you is for you. You may benefit in wisdom and knowledge, but the fruit is going to come from what you sow. So the only thing that's keeping you from success right now is your perspective. How are you viewing what you're going through? What is the perspective that you have on it? When things happen, how do you choose to view it? Are you focusing on the problem or are you focusing on the solution? One thing I want you to practice is when things happen to you, make sure that before you start saying, oh, woe is me, and you break out your violin, that you start focusing on the solution. Because when you focus on the problem, it's going to grow. When you focus on that one person that leaves, God, only one person, it's going to grow. That's taking up your time. That's taking up your mental space. That's taking up your emotional space where you could be focusing on what the solution is. Same thing with your team. As you're growing them, are you focusing on their problems or are you giving them solutions? You don't want to create more problems for them by focusing on the problems. You're supposed to be there to give them solutions, but how are you going to give your team solutions when you can't even provide solutions for yourself? So today, start making sure that you are definitely looking at solutions when things come your way. What did I do wrong? What can I do differently? What is the vision that I'm focusing on? Am I in position? What are the seeds that I'm sowing? Am I looking at it from a bird's eye view? Or am I so down and low that all I can see is what's in front of me? Am I soaring high like the eagles? Or am I just sitting here on the ground hoping that somebody's going to come along and help me up? Part of doing that I want to touch on is part of being successful is making sure that you are honoring. Honor is a huge word. Honor is a huge word. How you can go the you can tell a person honors who is showing them what they need to do to get to the next level, because you're now mimicking what they are putting out because they have the success. You're not them, but you're taking those tools and you're doing what they're asking you to do. So yes, you may have what your vision is. You may know where it is that you want to go. But again, how are you going to get there? You need the tools to get there. And the way to do that is make sure that you are honoring your mentor. Part of that is making sure that you're showing up to where you need to be on time. If you were on this call late, you're not honoring what they set out for us here. If you haven't gone through the academy, you're not honoring the system. If you are not, what else? If you are not writing your list, you're not honoring the system. How could you possibly expect to manifest that vision, what's inside of you, when you're not taking the tools that they put out for you? How are you going to get to that finish line? How are you going to strengthen those muscles? And then it comes down to, is that a level of respect? I pray that you're hearing everything that I'm putting down. Yes, this is supposed to be a motivational call. However, there has to be some instruction too, because you can't just feel good. You have to know what you need to do in order to get where you need to go. And when I speak to you, I'm definitely speaking to myself as well. So you make sure that you have your vision, you're focusing on the right thing. You make sure that you are providing solutions and not only looking at the problem. You make sure you're honoring your mentor by making sure that you're listening to them. You're doing what it is that you need to do. You're showing up on time. You're respecting their time. You're running the play 100%. You've gone through the beginner setup and you know where the 72-hour fast start checklist is. You know where the daily method of operations are. This is all going to help you. And if you want this to tie into motivation, you do all these things, I promise you it's going to get you to that vision that's laid out in front of you. So if you're wondering why it's not working for you, start here. Because everybody that is Chairman 10 and above has done just this. You guys wonder why you may see me on calls. It's not because I ask, it's because I honor my mentor. You wonder why I have success or other people have success. It's because they honor the system. They pay attention. They do what is needed. And what do they say? Follow what the successful people do. I promise you, if you don't focus just on yourself, but you focus on everything in its entirety, you're going to get far more results. You're going to get far more results. You're going to get people reaching out to you even more to help you. You're going to attract exactly what it is that you're putting out. So if you're not honoring the system, if you're not providing solutions, if you're not doing all of the above that I just mentioned, when you start growing your business, how do you think that's going to trickle down into your organization? So it starts now. It starts with you. I talked about before having the fragrance. You have to make sure that you are taking up on the fragrance of the Retired and 365 family. That means doing everything that has been laid out. You're taking on the fragrance of the Retired and 365 family. What does that mean? Taking on the positive attitude that Paris Simmons displays all the time. You're taking on the fragrance of what is going on in order to get to the vision where you want to go. What does that look like? You are serving. So again, if you're stagnant, if your business isn't growing, if you're not understanding, ask yourself, are you doing what is necessary? Honor is great when it's only lip service, but when it comes to do the work, and all of this requires work, getting to your vision requires work, growing your team requires work, honoring the system requires work. It's not just speaking it. You begin to look like what this opportunity has to give. You begin to act like what this opportunity has to give. You begin to take on the fragrance of what this opportunity has to give. And what is that? That is abundance. That is life-changing opportunity. That is positivity in what you speak and what you think. That is growth. That is elevation. You begin to look like that. So you have to be very clear and very conscious of where it is that you're going.
Check out at 12:30 for me.
Make sure
30 minutes.
that everything that needs to be done is being done and being done quickly. This doesn't have to take a long time, but even if it took a little longer than you wanted to, is it still worth it? Is it still worth it? You have to make sure that you're also putting skin in the game. What does that mean? What is your investment? People give up easily because they don't have enough skin in the game. They have too many other plans. Well, if this doesn't work out, the moment you say, if this doesn't work out, that is the moment it starts to not work out. What is your skin in the game? What is your investment like? Even if it's not monetary, what is your time? That also goes back to honoring. What is your servitude looking like? What is your skin in the game? You have to make sure that if you're asking other people to invest in you, if you want your mentors to invest their time in you to get you where you need to go, if you want your team to invest the time to grow the business, you also have to be putting that same skin back in the game, if not more, because that is what you are requiring as well. So I want you to also think today, what is your skin in the game? What is your investment? Do you have a lot riding on this opportunity? Is it that serious to you? What is going back into your business? Are you doing more than one opportunity call? And let me say this. They say that we have to do 4 to 6 presentations a week. I challenge you to just do at least 2 or 4 a day. I challenge you. You want to go chairman? Don't wait until we have the 2 and 8 o'clock calls. That's great. That's going to look good on our daily method of operations, but that's not good for your activity. When you start filling it out because you want to go chairman, add 2 more to that. Add 4 more to that. Why? Because when I listen to Bryce Thompson, when I listen to Justin Owens, when I listen to Paris Simmons, when I listen to Charles Dyson, when I listen to Alex Morton, they were doing 4 to 6 a day. A day. So it's cute when you do 4 to 6 a week. Yes, you'll get there eventually. And if that's your portion, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. By all means, at least do something. But if you're sitting here saying that you want to be one of those 50 chairman traders by the end of the year, it's time to put more skin in the game. Have more riding on it. More time invested. Even if you cannot, because maybe you're still working, there's a way around that. On the weekend, up the ante. Don't relax when you have your time off. And the presentation has to be that long. It could be 15 minutes. So what are you investing back into your business? I bring all of this up because as I came out of the Mansion Mastermind, I realized in myself, it's time to up my activity. I want to be motivated. I want people to motivate me. How about I start by motivating myself and making sure that I'm the example for my team to where they're motivated because they see how hard that I'm working. You want motivation? I bet you'll feel great when you know you did a lot of work pouring into your business for that day. That you've invested the time to learn the academy in that day. That's your motivation. None of us have to speak that to you. I almost can, it's like when you work out, the more you work out, the better you feel. You may not like it, but the better you're gonna look. That's your motivation. So we need to get to a point where we're definitely motivating ourselves, and in order to keep going that distance, just up the work. And I promise you, you'll get where you need to go. So as I wrap this up, just to touch on the points again, just make sure you know what your vision is, you know what you're focusing on, you know where God has you, and take courage in knowing and be encouraged that if you can see the vision, 1, it's yours. 2, you already have what's inside of you. You just aren't at the stage where it's manifested. How do you get to that manifested stage? You start strengthening those muscles. You start working on the solutions instead of looking at the problems. You start making sure that you're honoring the process and you're honoring the mentors. And if you want to start helping out and doing more, then make sure you're doing the work silently to win like those 6-figure, 7-figure traders that want to win to be able to fund those dreams and those goals that you want to do outside of this, because this is not the end point, it's just a vehicle. I'm talking to those people that want to deliver themselves and want to deliver their family. I'm sorry. The last thing I want to do is to look back and my kids have to say, Mommy couldn't do it, so now I have to. Because that's what I'm saying. My mother could not do it. My father could not do it. So now I have to. So my kids are not going to look at me and be sitting in front of a Zoom call or in front of a room saying, my mother couldn't do it, so I had to. So I'm doing the work now. And if that's you, then take heed to everything that I just went over, everything we went over last night, and let's get to work. Let's get to work. Because if they can do it, we can do it. Everyone here bleeds red. We're all the same. We were all born the same way, although with different purposes. We all have the ability to get this. So what are you waiting for? Stay focused. Do what's necessary. Do everything that's necessary. Even if today you have to start at square one, humble yourself, put your pride aside and say, this is my first day again. I'm starting over again. I just signed up. Treat yourself as a new customer and go through everything new so you can do it the right way. That is my advice to you. That's all I have. Again, I pray prosperity and a major influx of people joining your business, that you continue to have a sound mind, that you continue to go the distance, and that God gives you an ear to hear and the discernment you need to know that who you're listening to is actually feeding you the correct information to get where you need to go. And I also pray that you continue to gain divine wisdom and you become innovative in growing this thing, and that you start to focus and pay attention, because it's going to pay off in the end, in the name of Jesus. That's all I got. Javon, where are you?
Hey, go ahead, drop some fire emojis in the chat. Let's go ahead.